This is cherry blossoms. Wow!
High Park was not always home to the thousands of sakura trees we see today. The trees have been planted throughout the park, and the city of Toronto hold a unique history. And the Japanese Canadian community has played an important role in creating spaces for sakura to thrive. The first trees were planted in 1959, an event made possible by the tremendous effort of Issei, the first generation of Japanese Canadian leaders and community members. The Sakura planting campaign was formed by Consulate General Yoshida, who invited community leaders to fundraise 20,000 Canadian dollars with the vision of building a Japanese garden in a public park of Toronto. The Nikkei, a Japanese diaspora community, was small at that time and faced discrimination in post-war Toronto. Thus, this was a dream come true project for the community. The fundraising was successful, and in April 1959, the Japanese ambassador to Canada, Toro Hagiwara, presented 2,000 Somei Yoshino sakura trees to the citizens of Toronto on behalf of the citizens of Tokyo. The trees were planted in appreciation of Toronto, accepting relocated Japanese Canadians following the Second World War. Many of the trees were planted in High Park on the hillside overlooking Grenadier Pond, southwest of the Grenadier Cafe, and around the east shore of the pond. In 1984, an additional small grove of Japanese sakura trees were planted along a pathway west of the Children's Adventure Playground in High Park, near the zoo parking lot. The trees were donated by Yuriki and Midori Iwasaki as a special gift to the people of Toronto and a joyful symbol of life. The most recent Sakura tree planting project was organized in the year 2000 by Consulate General Hara, as some of the original trees were dying. Japanese community organizations and companies came together to initiate a 10-year Sakura project with the mission to plant 3,000 sakura trees across Ontario. The purposes of the project were to inspire greater friendship and understanding toward Japan among Canadians and to contribute to promoting friendship and goodwill between Japan and Canada. Sakura Hanami in Japan. Sakura is the Japanese name for flowering cherry trees and their flowers often offered to as a cherry blossoms. In Japan, there is a legend that each spring a fairy maiden hovers low in a warm sky, wakening the sleeping cherry trees to life with her delicate breath. Sakura trees are the first to bloom with flowers that are nearly pure white with a hint of pink near the stem. The blossoms last for about a week, blooming before the leaves flush out. Due to their very short bloom time, sakura blossoms are seen as a metaphor for life itself, luminous and beautiful, yet fleeting and ephemeral. The Japanese traditional custom of hanami, or flower viewing, dates back to the Nara period 710 to 794, when the Chinese Tang dynasty influenced Japan with their custom of enjoying flowers. Ume, Japanese apricot blossoms, were admired by most during this period, but by the Heian period 794 to 1191, cherry trees attracted more attention and were planted and cultivated for their beauty, especially in Kyoto, Japan's capital city during this era. The custom of hanami was originally limited to the elite and Japanese nobility, but soon spread to samurai society and then blossomed to include all levels of Japanese society. To this day, when the sakura trees bloom, Japanese people continue the tradition of hanami, gathering in great numbers during the day or evening to hold feasts and drink sake, Japanese wine, under the flowering trees. In fact, this enjoyment has spread to other cultures, and many cultures enjoying viewing the cherry blossoms when they are in bloom. Many people also take part in processional walk through parks, contemplating and renewing their spirits under the sakura trees. Hanami at night is called Yuzakura, meaning night sakura. In many places, paper lanterns are hung under trees for Yuzakura. Sunod-sunod sa camera. Sumusunod sa galaw mo. Galaw mo. Hello? Oh, yan. Oh.